All right, welcome
Whoa, very fast. I thought we were going longer than that. Here we are.
Right, I cut the intro down from 6.5 minutes to 27 seconds so we don't lose viewers as we begin. Welcome everyone back with the amazing David Stig, who is back from the Cosmic Summit event, we will say. And he's got a smile.
Oh, what an event.
What an event indeed. And we were also discussing before we went live another event today of Jimmy Corsett and Dan dunking on Piers Morgan debating Zahi Hawass. The
Coco Cray Cray.
There we go.
Very crazy.
Cosm Summits, or the Summit Cosm. Yeah.
They're literally ripping Zahi Hawass a new bung butt.
Right. Well, he needs to be called out because he's holding all of humanity back, and it's the lies, it's whatever they're selling on the black market that they uncover, recover, destroy, and suppress. And it's human history, it's world history. It doesn't belong to any one government regime or even nation, really. A little bit that way, but it's the world's history, and at least the truth should come out.
Yeah, and of course he argued well, but Jimmy called him out. It was an amazing little interview there. 31 minutes in, by the way, if you want to fast forward to see where Zahi Hawass says, "Jimmy, you believing a conspiracy theory."
The only conspiracy theory is that the pyramids were made by slaves that were uneducated, by people with no technology, no industry power, measurements like copper chisels and tools like that. That's the conspiracy, if we're being real.
Yeah, that's a cover-up. It's been a cover-up. They always changing it up. We're inviting people to come in from all the different ranges of history, whether that be the Egyptian or Atlantis or Tartaria or even older. That's what I'm looking at. I can't not see Anunnaki mining South Africa. I just can't stop seeing that. And then what's that in Pie Town? I mean, Pie Town, New Mexico, man.
Well, we will bring up your screen here, which
actually, that's where I got gas. I had to go out of my way to get gas. Pie Town's way over here. That's the place where I got gas. And I cut through, and then I went over this way, followed the road down to Pie Town, New Mexico. And there's a cut through right where the ridge starts. And you can get a nice side shot. I should probably have those right here. What's going on here with this little thing? This little thing, I mean, it's kind of weird, but this line is 12 miles long from here to here, and then there's another one up here, and it's like, what's going on? The Continental Divide goes right through there, and that's supposed to be Atlantis? No, it's got to be older than Atlantis. Something's going on out there in North America. Spanish Peaks, up there in Montana. There's ridges and mountains. I think the mountains are built. That's why I'm doing that book called The Mountain Builders. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I'll get you the Mountain Builders cover. Where is that book at? There we go. I also have this book, The English Teacher. I'm working on that too. But The Mountain Builders. Yeah, there's the book. And yeah, look at that. There's a Praveen Mohan from the Cosmic Summit. I got a lot of pictures to share. You see this one?
Yes, sir. What a legend. I'm
Yeah,
talking about the guy in the Indiana Jones hat.
thank you.
Praveen, absolutely
He
amazing.
was a little
Yeah,
standoffish. He's like, who are you? Who are you? I'm the dude that you need to subscribe to, bro. YouTube.com/@stig. Come on. Al Bundy, how you doing? Hawass is a proud Egyptian. And there was some I'm looking at this little chat. There was a little bit of a cultural misunderstanding when Jimmy was asking the question. Hawass didn't understand the question, so he was answering it differently. Remember Tyrone? I got all sorts of pictures. Did we talk about Cosmic Summit? Here's one of me and Billy.
nice. Mr. Carson himself.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people there that you would be surprised. I got a couple more. I don't know. The Explorer team. And there's probably. Hey, is somebody calling you? What was that sound?
I said definitely go through it all.
Okay, I'll go from the beginning. Let me get. Okay, so basically, I got a folder going. So there's a few things. What am I doing at my house? Check this out. Can you see that video? I put a light in. I replaced the light. Temporary. The switch is just a temporary because there was no switch. So I'm doing electricity now. This is what I do at home.
Electrician.
And we did a video here the other day. I think you were involved in that video. Those are the mounds that I drove to in the Rashat structure. Those are the bisected mounds. I never show this slide. I'm like, why don't I show that? There's Spanish Peaks. Look at the symmetry. That arc goes like a convex. That arc is concave. And we've got these lines coming through there.
Straight
the
up
blowout.
They're straight up walls. There's no other way.
I think they're walls. I just don't understand. I think they're actually using them as transport roads, though, not just walls. But this one definitely is controlling water. But transport roads, I have a new theory about it, and it popped up in my head. There's Michael Donnellan, Dan D. Dunker, and back there, the Italian SARScan guy who scanned the pyramids, the Khafre project. Those guys are right there. There's Graham Dunlap from Grimerica next to us on stage over there at Cosmic Summit. That's what's his name? Danny Hillman from Indonesia, from the Gunung Padang stuff. Oh, sorry. I don't even mean to go through these. Sorry, that doesn't belong. It's a friend of mine's logo. Actually, Tyrone. That's really it. There's nothing else to show here. Okay, over here, there's something here. Let's go here. I better not show everything. There's a few things in that folder that I don't want to be showing.
Yeah. Don't get our channels taken down now.
Yeah, there's Nikki Anna Jones and the. I did 2 panels at Cosmic Summit. Randall Carlson spoke about 3 times. And, a couple of them, I know his talks. There's my talk. There's George Howard on the stage making sure that I didn't go past Tyrone. I got to make sure not to show a couple slides. Me and Randall. Antonia Zamora. Joanna. She's also Atlantis in the Sahara person. And, of course, Graham Langdon. So he's got his books and all his discoveries. And he went to the Rashat twice. I got his signed book. This is Pilot Mountain, and the way it looks when there's an alpenglow. Yeah, it gets pyramidal, right? Pyramidal. And yeah, it's not a very pointy mountain, but when you look at the shadow that's created, it does look like a pyramid. Is it a mystery? I don't think so. All right. Anyways, yeah, that's that. Oh, and then of course Trevor Grossi, and there's me and Praveen and Raul and JJ and Hugh Newman and the front desk guy. If you need a room, he'll check you in. Oops, be careful.
All legends.
Yeah, we got cray stuff going on. And then this thing, what the hell is that all about? You see that?
Yeah, the supposed sprite. Like, look at what actually is that? Like, it looks
It's the
like
grounding. It's the
I know,
electric
but
grounding.
it looks like a spirit or demon being like sucked in, like no, or something, or bursting up. I don't know. Wild.
Sprites are a weird thing. You barely ever get the chance to see one. And now we're just getting photographs of sprites. And it's like, what can I say? They are like a sprite is like a mystical being. And now we've got these things. That is basically it must be that is a lightning bolt. And it's the grounding of the lightning bolt into the atmosphere. It grounds in the earth and it grounds into the atmosphere. Creates a circuit.
That's above the atmosphere. That's like above the ionosphere. That's going into what they say is the vacuum of space that is definitely not a vacuum.
Yeah, something like that. It sounds about right to me. Anyways, that just happened to be in my folder. What else is there? Probably don't share the screen for a while. Let's get that out of here and get me back in there. There we go. So, yeah, I invited a few other people to come in, and JJ definitely rocks, and she just did a thing on Twitter. She's kind of raising money. I was going to try to drop her a couple bucks myself. If you can get on JJ, damn, how do I say her? I'm saying her name wrong. JJ Ainstr. Oh my God, why am I messing up? Anyway, Hugh Newman and she are like very close. Well, yeah, you say that the Thunderbolts project covers that nicely, but I have to be honest. I sometimes feel like the Thunderbolts is a deflection. Honestly, Ainsworth. Thank you, Dusty. Yeah, JJ Ainsworth.
I do enjoy the Sapphire project, which is related as well, but a different project. But I think they work together. Same with Electric Universe. They do good work, but I don't agree with every aspect, But
I just wish it was easier to absorb. Every time I watch a Thunderbolts video, they're like flashing all sorts of formulas and stuff that I just get sleepy-eyed with. You're going to put me to sleep. I want to see the facts laid out. Like there's a bolt of lightning. But they don't do enough of that. So it's like, what is the electric universe? We don't have like a summary. Like, what does it even mean? I think it just kind of means that instead of gravity, the idea is it's electricity or it's
electricity induced a bit. What we have right here, though, and yes, some people say it is Mars because NASA has a testing base on Devon Island. This is Devon Island, Canada's northernmost uninhabited island, yet there's these what look like pyramidal mounds. And yeah, so Devon Island here where they test the Mars rovers, but looks a lot like Mars for sure. And then another one of these pyramidal mountains on Devon Island. So there's a couple of them. And well, who did it? As you postulate, probably the Anunnaki doing gold mining. Here's another one. I believe this one's in Jamaica, another pyramidal mountain. I believe this is one of the Bosnian pyramid mountains. Then we have these two from, I know the islands.
China.
No, these are not China. These are a couple islands. I believe in the North Atlantic, but Faroes Island. There we go. Yes, this is Faroes Island in the North Atlantic. Why is it called Faroes Island? And
what is Astro Magnus saying there? I clicked the wrong stream, but you share the opinion with Jimmy that Atlantis was both Rashad and in the Atlantic like an empire. Well, okay, so the Rashad structure is the concentric circles. Morocco, for sure. Freaking Cadiz, for sure. In the Atlantic, okay, open islands in the open sea for sure. Yeah. All right. PayPal. What's that all about? What's going on with the PayPal?
Oh, bless you, Mike. Does
$25.
appreciate that.
All
So,
right. New Mexico.
as I
Hey, by the
also
way,
am
if you make it, yeah.
I'm fundraising to make it to Tesla Tech. Thank you, Mike, for supporting the cause. Appreciate it. And
What date is Tesla Tech? What's the date for that?
August 5th through 10th, and it's going to be one epic, awesome
So
time.
next month.
Yes, sir.
It's right now the 11th of July. All my
Yeah.
bills are paid. You can congratulate me on that. I got all my bills paid up until now.
Amazing. You are ahead of me. Congratulations.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So, on screen here, we have Pyramid Lake, Utah, not Utah, Nevada, sorry. Pyramid Lake, Nevada, and, well, supposedly what looks like potentially a pyramid there. Guan Pandang in Indonesia, I believe. Again, this is the Faroe Island Pyramid Mountain.
It's pretty iconic right there, you know. The
right
terracing.
there, terraces, exactly. Well, there's also the online on-demand stream, Mike, and we will be doing free live streams as well, but it won't be covering all the presentations, but some bonus material. Appreciate you, Mike, and I do respect and understand the responsibilities that come with pets and taking care of them. Oh, and then we have, I believe this is the Temple of Ra in the Grand Canyon Pyramid Temple Complex. Very sus. Could be the Tower of Ra as well. One or the other.
Anything in the Grand Canyon area is super old.
Oh, absolutely.
Super old. Millions of years old, in my opinion.
I concur with that. And then
Astro Magnus is in the middle of Wyoming. Where? Give us coordinates, bro. We want those coordinates.
Heard of that one, I believe.
In the middle of Wyoming.
Faroe Island.
Faroe Island. Faroe is Denmark, right? Faroe is north of England.
Yep. And again, Pyramid Lake, Nevada. I'm not sure if that's a real image or not, but the Bosnian pyramid, probably not. And we have...
That's China. That's China right there.
We have the Chinese. Shout out
Truncated pyramids. Truncated pyramids in China. Obvious. It's like, come on now.
And then the Isis temple in the Grand Canyon Pyramid Complex with the covered up old entrance that turned into a wall after the airplane crashed into it in the 50s. And then, of course, the headpiece on top. What looks like a five-sided. Another one of the Chinese pyramids, pyramidal mountains. And again, right? Like, oh, it's just a hill, just a mountain. But in China, they know that they are pyramids and covered with substrate and dirt. And that's what they look like before excavation. Again, Pyramid Lake, Nevada. Looks kind of step pyramid-like, potentially. This one could be the U.S., but also I think could be Russia.
There you go. Look at the sign.
Yeah, that's Russia. Or, I don't know.
Be an American to me.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get some water. I'm listening. I'm just grabbing some water. Hold on.
Fair enough. Astro, asking for your contact. Tum Tum Mountain. Yes, Tum Tum Mountain is one. Is that in Washington or where is the Tum Tum? One. And then, of course, we have in Mexico, Chichen Itza, I believe. Yes.
I've been
And
there.
Faroe Islands. I have once. I need to go back. It's been far too long. It was amazing. I was too young to understand uh, what it truly was when I was there. Again, we have Devon Island in the Arctic, Canada, Chichen Itza. Again,
Yeah, I
Devon
have
Island.
my regrets too. I was in Guatemala, and I could have gone to
China.
what was the name of it in
Washington.
the eastern Guatemala, and I never went. And I was so close. I was so close, and I just didn't make it. It was Tikal, Tikal, Tikal.
Yeah, I gotta see that Tikal too for
I never
sure.
got there, and they have a
You
building
will.
just like in Asia, just like Cambodia, the Tikal Temple. It matches one that's in Cambodia, right near Angkor Wat. It's like the same exact building, but they're halfway around the world.
Not sure where this one is. I think it's in the US. Could be wrong. Looking very, very pyramidal, redonkulously pyramidal.
I think that's what's highly sus is when you go up to 15, you get into Utah, you take the 70 east, you go through Utah and then Colorado, and you see the Book Cliffs and Garfield Mountain, and it looks like a mine site. And then you look at mountains like this, and by the way, the guy who is named Raul from Pillars of the Past, he was there at Cosmic Summit with us, and he's finding mounds like that down in Peru right now that nobody else is finding. They look just like that. They've got a two levels, like it goes up to the first level and then comes up to the second level. He go over to Pillars of the Past and check it out. He's got a bunch of these that he's found.
Well, you bring and then I will share.
I don't want to go to his channel right now. The dude's doing great. Last I heard, he and Praveen Mohan were chatting about something.
Nice. Another Indonesian mountain pyramid with covered in terraces. So many of them.
Yeah, that has the full point right there too. Look at that. It's like obvious, right? Obvious.
This one,
And
I believe, is in the Bering Strait or off Kamchatka, Eastern Russia. Kamchatka, pronouncing that wrong. Anywho, another one in the Caribbean, literally all over the world. And then look at that coastline. I don't think ice erodes like that. This again is Devon Island, where those other pyramids are. And then look at that. That is, in my opinion, a intelligently designed, built, constructed channel way.
Is that a river or is that some type of a? Is that just
gotta be a
ice?
canal, right? Yeah, it's frozen ice. It's a canal or river canal or something on Devon Island, something around.
It's like a 90-degree turn. 90 degrees, right?
It's straight up 90 degree. Like insane.
That's not how rivers work.
Right? Glaciers and rivers do not do that.
It looks like it looks like a glacier right there. Is it pure ice? No, it's water.
Yeah, that's frozen over water. So it could be seawater and just the top is frozen because it's in the Arctic. This is Devon Island.
Well, that little area to the left that goes over in the middle of it, that looks like it is done by a glacier. But the idea that it just
that is river.
That looks like a glacier activity. But it's not where the water is, right? So that's old and it's not the same as what we're looking at here. This is where the water is now. So it's a different activity right there. Turn left.
Exactly. And showing that this flow out here from this meltwater river stream, this most likely used to also be a 90-degree cut, and that since that's deposited there, I'm pretty sure that would be the case. Maybe, not sure
That
which
point
way.
right there, there's no way that's natural right there. That's just too pointy. That's too angled. It's like, what are you
Right?
doing? Where is that?
Um, Mount Bethel, Colorado.
What? Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of sus stuff in Colorado for sure. I actually have theories about the whole area. I really believe that it's like they literally overburdened dumped the whole freaking all these mountains. I just don't understand it. There's so much to look at right there. So what is he saying right there? Turn in Scotland. What's that all about? He said it twice. Yeah, turn T, and then he says it again. It's like, oh, tum tum. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Mount Tum Tum, but maybe originally it was Turn. I'm not entirely sure, but now we're going to go into some photos that I have taken from my local Alberta landscape. And after what we just looked at, some similar sites, which I found and believe probably the same thing. And we will start with this one, which is a World Heritage Site called Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump. But to me, it looks like a massively terraced pyramid structure, pyramidal, and that there's levels of what look like these megalithic blocks in the steps of this potential step pyramid mound, and that as we go along, so here, look at what they have in that is, so this is the Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump official like museum thing, and it's a stepped pyramid that is underground. Why would they build an underground step pyramid um, museum or visitor site? Like it doesn't make sense, the amount of cost. Or are they just covering up the entrance to something that was already there? I speculate and suspect super sus either way.
Well, how often do they do like a visitor center and they're like, okay, we're going to do a mound. We're going to put it underground. I've never seen that
Right?
before. It's a new building. If you're going to do a visitor
Exactly.
center, you're going to do a new building. You're not going to do an underground dwelling like that.
Right? Like it doesn't make logical sense. Oh, okay. So Fourth Wiseman saying tum tum is Old Norse Viking and Gaelic wording. It means strength. Interesting.
Oh, and I was seeing an R. It's not an R. That's an M. Okay, I can see where I went wrong.
Tum tum in Mount Washington. So again, look at that. Like visitor center built underground as a step pyramid. Very suspect. Very suspect site. What's next? All right, another potential pyramidal area. Oh,
yeah. What's that? What's that thing in the mountain? The one with the little house and temple.
That's the
no,
same.
Go back to
in Buffalo Jump. This one?
There, that thing. What's that? Yeah, zoom in on that thing right there. What is that?
More sandstone blocks.
Looks like
a
structure to me. That doesn't look like anything natural right there.
Exactly. So much suspect geology throughout it, and is it extremely ancient, eroded, previous mound builder work? I suspect so. Like just the terraces, the step pyramidal structure, it's very, very suspect. And these are all blocks of sandstone layering
I'm
throughout
supposed
it.
to go to Mount Diablo with the Trekker Willis of I Am Kairos. Up there, there's all sorts of walls and stuff that are, and I wouldn't even say they're that old. They're a little bit more recent, but like still like thousands of years old.
That's awesome. I look forward to seeing what you
Well,
guys discover.
I got to get up there. Yeah, I got to get up there. I guess I'm
Yes.
driving. I don't know, man. A part of me doesn't want to drive, but the only way to really do it is to just drive up there.
Well, come pick me up from Tesla Tech on the way. Do it next month. And
What
look, so
city is
look
that
at
in?
these
What
terraces.
city is Tesla Tech in?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow, I see. Yeah, you mentioned that. I've been going crazy around here. I've been like doing wiring and I've been stepping on wire and I got little chunks of metal in my feet. I was like literally using the tweezers on the bottom of my foot today. And I didn't realize that just a little tiny, tiny little sliver of wood or metal will change your fucking world walking around.
Yeah, they got to be careful, Mr. Stig. You definitely recommend wearing shoes or sandals. You
Yeah,
don't
wear
want to
shoes.
get.
I'm done. I've been walking barefoot a lot. In fact, I'm barefoot right now. Check this out. There's my foot in the fucking camera. But
Oh dear, oh dear.
yeah,
OnlyFans foot porn going on here.
foot porn. Oh my, no, I'm a, and
On
never mind. I got to be polite, right? No cussing. We talked about this.
right, we're keeping it family friendly tonight. There's Bernie
Disney.
right
We're going.
there.
I like all these
Right.
chats, man. I love Astro and Calyx and the Fourth Wise Man and hi Steve or hey Steve, Dusty. All these great chatters. I think they're all coming from your side. They're not coming from my
Well,
channel.
not for yours. Not for yours. So here I am exploring Waterton National Park and Red Canyon.
What, you got a drone?
No, that was actually shout out to Moms who was taking the pictures of me from above.
Oh,
So, right, got it. There's Mom's finger, right? Shout out Moms, capturing Bernie, exploring Red Rock, Waterton Falls, and then there's this one very suspect mountain at Waterton Lake. Lots of very suspect geology in Waterton. This one even more so. Like this looks almost like Vedic, ancient Vedic temple, maybe like a statues. It's very, very suspect.
I don't know why
Very
nature would
suspect.
bother doing that. Yeah, highly sus. Highly sus. I mean, can you imagine standing up there? That's just cray cathedral-esque. And yeah, I like obvious stuff. This stuff is a little bit, it could be, it could maybe not, but I like the obvious stuff. The obvious stuff is out there. So then when you put up stuff like this next to it, and then you see the obvious stuff, you're like, well, wait a minute. If that's possible, then this is possible.
Right, exactly. Once you look at things with new eyes, like, what is this? Like, right here, that's very suspect, very suspect, very suspect. Bigfoot, we got a Sasquatch. We caught a Sasquatch up on the mountain. Very suspect. Like, these look like carvings, potentially.
Yeah.
Very, very suspect, to say the least.
I mean, and we're not just talking about like in the beginning when it was whatever. Look at that line going across it. It looks like it was manufactured.
Right,
but
like,
yeah, there could have been a lot of different times when that was something different and created for something else.
And just tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of years of natural erosion and catastrophe since whatever civilization built it or created it if that's the case, but very, very suspect geology. Doesn't look too natural, in my opinion. Like, what is this? Need to go back there this summer still. So
when I see lines like that, I think that the side was mined off. Like there was
yeah.
quarrying, and they just sliced all that off. I see it again and again and again, so I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, this is, to me, looks semi-natural, and maybe, but at the same time, man, knowing what I know, that could have easily been created. Wow, that's a beautiful shot right there. Did you take those pictures?
These are
That's
all
really
mine. So planning a southern Alberta trip and meetup here if funding, if I'm able to crowdsource funding and enough people are interested by end of August or early September. Hopefully should be going back to these sites, and anybody and everybody interested is welcome to join. So this, oops.
Flardy Barfast. I remember Flardy Barfast. That was not in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was in the following book, The Universe and Everything, whatever it was called. I'm just looking at the chat. Flardy Barfast. He was creating mountains, I guess. It's been a long time since I read all that. And I do still remember Flardy Barfast.
Here we have Lundbrick Falls, very close by to these other sites, very close to actually to Head Smashed in Buffalo jump that I started with. And then
anytime you have water like that, when you have water like that, I think mining, placer mining, water like that is a valuable resource for the ancients. And they needed that water. They needed to do their little projects, and water was an important part. When you see stuff like that, and you can see the power, they're harnessing that. They were using that. They're throwing their gold down that, I believe. You could probably find gold at the bottom of all those waterfalls.
I'm gonna have to check that out next time I'm down. And then
get under there, yeah.
Very, very suspect looking potential. Additional.
You can see the terracing. You can see 4 layers of terracing. And that's the thing with I Am Kairos, when he took me up into those hills next to Napa and showed me the terracing up there. It's like, well, okay, now that's old compared to, say, the walls we found, which are maybe a couple thousand years old. I don't think they're that old, but they were certainly doing something. And they're definitely not in the last 100 years, and they're definitely not the Chinese, which is what they say. Yeah, look at that. That looks like quarrying, and it looks like what I saw when I went to the Rashat structure. There's the quarries that are on the east side by what do you call it? The little things, number 4 and number 5 that I visited the first time, and then I went out there, and you're like, you can't really see it from the ground, but when you're looking at it from a distance, you see the unnatural terracing lines. It's like, why are they perpendicular? Why are they like that? Because they were doing agriculture one day. I believe that's agriculture right there. But the terracing is just a little bit of a kick. Maybe even, I don't know.
Right.
And like I say, hey, maybe it is natural, whatever. But when you see it in South Africa, you say that's not natural.
Right? It's so sus, and it's that most likely there's both processes that originally mind structured and macro terraforming, and then whatever cataclysms that have happened since throughout however long it's been, right? The epochs and eras. And
look at that truncated mountain right there. What does that? You're going to say that that's just natural? No, they create the plateau on the top. That's a truncated plateau.
Or is that a covered pyramid, just like they're the mounds that we've seen everywhere, right? Potentially too.
Well,
And
everything doesn't have to be a freaking Giza pyramid. Look at pillars of the past, truncated plateaus like the one I mentioned when you showed that one image. They're everywhere down there. And what are they? They're homes, they're temples, they're the pharaoh head next to the Rashat. I don't know what that's talking about. What did he say? I mentioned it before. Pharaoh head next to the Rashat structure. I don't know. That kind of rings a bell, but I don't. I'd have to get better coordinates than that. I don't know when you mentioned it before. But anyways, yeah. I don't. The Pharaoh head. There's something called. I call it Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's the highest point on the plateau. I don't know about it being a pharaoh head shape, but it's interestingly shaped, more like a deer.
Do you maybe want to bring that up on your screen?
I showed it earlier. Well, the guy just made a comment. If he can give me better coordinates about the pharaoh's head, maybe we can bring that up. But right now we're good. Let's keep moving in this direction. I like it where I don't have control. I really like it a lot. I can talk.
Just along for the ride. Okay, so these pictures, another site close by. But sorry, first we'll go back. So these are from another site in southern Alberta Badlands called Red Rock Coulee, right by Medicine Hat and the Medicine Hat Badland geoglyphs, which I'll get into in a little bit. But before we get there, we have this site, which I call the Cappadocia of Canada. It is located and called Writing on Stone UNESCO site, and it's full of petroglyphs from some of them in the 10,000-year-old range all the way up till the battles between the indigenous natives and the RCMP in the 1800s. And it's very, very suspect, to say the least. It looks like Cappadocia in Turkey, basically. And
well, wait a minute. Let me take another look at that. Cappadocia is like a pile of sand. There you go. Yeah, those things. That's like melted mountains. That's just so unnatural. In Utah, they call those needles. And to me, it's just, no. Something did that first. And yeah, erosion continued, but something did that first. I think it's mining or terraforming. Exactly. I don't know, man.
Probably both. They probably mined it first and then terraformed it and turned it into habitation and farming afterwards. Here we have a couple of the petroglyphs. They covered some of them up, but there's actually thousands throughout this park and site. But look at this blockwork of sandstone. That's looking pretty.
Is that Cappadocia right there? Cappadocia?
No, this is Alberta. This is Canada. This is Writing on Stone that I'm showing you, and that looks like, Egypt or anywhere else using sandstone blockwork. And
yeah,
this is southern Alberta. Very, very suspect site, to say the least. Here, what looks like a water channel that was constructed almost like the Cartwright style, found bones, and everywhere you see what looks like polygonal parallel lines throughout, right? Was it geopolymer? Was it constructed? Is it melted and then eroded? This one, extremely suspect looking pyramidal-ish. Is that a window of the roof of a house? There's known tunnels throughout these quote-unquote hoodoos, yet...
look at that arch right there. Come on. That arch right there is like, I think it's more of a, like a hinge alignment.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
hole.
Like most likely an astrological alignment in lots of these.
I
I'm
just don't
spec.
understand how that can be even natural, that little arch. You're looking at it, it's like, okay, how did it start? How did that little hole start? Oh, it's just
Right?
erosion? It just started? No. That is like put there on purpose.
Exactly.
Okay,
I
we got
can
some coordinates from Hey Steve is giving me the coordinates. Let me put those into a map and see what I can come up with.
definitely pull them up. Good to see Sarah Page. And what I find hilarious is they try to claim all of these holes were built by the sparrows that you can see right here build their nests outside the rock with mud and stick. They do not burrow inside. So, yeah, debunked right there. Sorry, Zahi Havas. Just kidding. He doesn't care about this, but he
He
would
doesn't
say
care.
it's all
He doesn't
natural.
know. Okay, look, that Pharaoh's head that they're talking about, I don't know. That Pharaoh's head area, that's Wadan. I've never really looked at it and called it a Pharaoh head. Um, I guess maybe you're seeing some type of a profile. I think that there is something important there, but I don't really think of it as the Pharaoh's head. It's right next to the opening of the Rishat structure, right? The mouth of the Rishat structure.
Do you want
Anyways,
to bring it up on screen or?
yeah, we'll keep going and watch the chat, and then we'll think about it later. I mean, I just when he was
Mhm.
referring to a Pharaoh's head, I didn't know what he's talking about. And yeah, that area, I think one time somebody kind of saw a head in there, but I have never called it that before. And I've been there 3 times, man. I've been to that little place, not exactly where the arrow was, but Wadan. That makes me want to eat like cheesecake or something. It looks so delicious. I think I'm ready to eat, man. I'm starving.
Getting hungry. I agree, Mike. Two flats. It's the you can see the erosion and you can see what was originally, and like it's there's just no way the stuff is natural. And
Where is this? This is just like Utah and the
no,
Canyonlands and
yeah, this
so-called
is
needle.
this is Alberta. This is Cappadocia, Canada. I've dubbed it. Writing on stone. And this goes on for miles upon miles on both sides of the Milk River.
I kind of think that it's a lot. Look at that, another arch. It's like that doesn't happen. It happens when you're creating stuff. They leave an arch like that. Look at that thing right there, and that tower right there. And yeah, they're. It's like it's a. How do you say? Oh, I forgot the word. For like the 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 white. They're moving material. What's the word that I used to use a lot? Where they create a liquid out of all the. It's like almost like a
Slurry,
cement,
a slurry or
a
a
slurry. The word is
geopolymer.
slurry. I believe that this was like a giant slurry field, and they're like moving all this content, and then suddenly they stopped and they left it, and then the erosion took over, created those needles, created all this weird stuff, because it was like it didn't belong there in the first place. Slurry, man. This is like South Africa slurry right here. Canyonland slurry. Look at that right there. What created that little arch? Just nature? No. That's just going to be created from wind? I don't think so.
The parallel of it. It's too uniform, right? And just too
All those
many,
caves, man, don't tell me they're this just happened. Oh, that's erosion.
right? Like,
No, people are living in there.
and
And that's later. That's not even the old stuff. That's the later people that occupied it after the fact. I mean, when I
it's
look
like
at that right there, that little mushroom head,
almost
look at that top layer. To
like
me,
that's
that means
brick essentially. Almost.
that's.
I don't know.
I think it's slurry, man. What did you say? I couldn't hear you clearly.
This almost looks like brick, like block and brickwork, mud brick potentially. I don't know.
I think it's like some kind of basically we call those needles. It has a little mushroom head, and they're trying to say that the layers of strata eroded away. I think that those layers were created by slurry fields, and they eroded away because they're not natural, and they're old. They're like 1,000,000 years old. There's lots of time to erode that, and then later people making those little caves on the side.
Just so suspect. Very, very block-like, and then it's like this looks almost melted, not eroded.
Well, and the fact that it's so flat on the sides, it looks like it's been carved away too. Like somebody carved that off. And I think that the later communities of people went in and, you say geopolymer, and it's more like a slurry. It's not even, they were just like moving like lakes of this stuff. Why? Overburden dumping, maybe. Overburden, maybe it's some kind of a pay dirt. It's actually tailings that they can later mine again.
Could be a combination of all of it.
And then, of course, look at all these little, I mean, you see that and you're saying that was done by a bird? I doubt it.
No, just no way at all. And look at like this straight line, parallel lines uniformly throughout the entire site, everywhere. Everywhere. Just parallel, 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 parallel. Like, just, there's no way. Looks like a potential face, looks like a potential face. Another potential. Eroded statues, possibly. Who knows?
You know, looking around my neighborhood, I see mountains and they're just natural. And then you look at this and you're like, what did that?
Exactly.
That's not natural. That's not like a normal mountain. I know what a normal mountain looks like. And then there's this stuff. It's like, what happened?
Right? Like, it just, it takes my breath away and I'm lost for words pretty much every time I go through this gallery. And I'm like, I need to get back to this site to document more and explore more, because this is a true mystery.
Well, and you should look at it from above, from the maps. I mean, when I go to Utah, I'm seeing straight lines from the air, straight cuts, straight quarry lines. I see that in the Rashad structure. I've walked through those quarry fields in the Rashad structure that have those perpendicular lines, and the places that I didn't make it to that are just literally straight lines that were cut by somebody big. Like, this is what's left when somebody big goes in there and makes a bunch of cuts. And it erodes funny.
Is this mortar? Is that mortar between like mud brick? I don't know. It's just so weird.
I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like it's a little bit bigger. Geopolymer, yes. As far as like they're building.
Is that an altar?
Well, look at those blocks in Utah. It's supposed to be natural jointing, and it's a big, huge megaton block that's perfectly cut from all sides, and that's joining. That's natural. And there it sits in Arizona. That guy got that drone footage.
Yeah, that's just such BS. The POV channel claiming it's all natural. Like, I don't buy it. Don't buy it.
Well, how do these things just naturally break off? Oh yeah, it's embedded in the DNA of the stone. It's a predisposition of the stone. The sandstone suddenly has straight lines. And then when you go over to what I show in Ergchek, Algeria, 3 sets of parallel lines, that's natural from the stones DNA. No, it goes on for miles and miles in different directions. I don't see that. I would see something that looks more natural doing that, but not mile long lines. No. And then this is looking like Utah. Utah is not that straight, but the same thing. You've got all these arches and you've got these straight lines and crisscrossing lines. And then it looks like this, like all that erosion, all that weathering. And yeah, you're dealing with straight lines like that right there.
Looks like a cart rut. This looks like almost like the cart ruts, and this is an agricultural freaking water aquifer thing for.
Well, and down below, I bet you, is there a river down below at the bottom? What's down below at the bottom? Because if there is, I'd say it's more like a sluice, like the Devil's Slide in Utah, Devil's Slide in Wyoming.
Very suspect. Another arch.
Nice bird. What is that? Damn.
Right?
Looks like
looks like a pterodactyl. What the hell is that?
That looks like a pterodactyl.
That's the story for another day. Experienced one of those in different Alberta Badlands. Famous for dinosaur skeletons, but we won't get into that one today.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, and when you see things like that, and when it's over and over again, it looks so not natural, like how mountains are created. And when it looks at the same thing over and over again, then you think consistency and look at it compared to the like that. I don't know.
Well, this
it looks like
super zoomed in from the other side of the river. And it's like cave underneath.
Big ass cave.
Those caves everywhere. Big ass caves everywhere. And this side, this is on the other side of the river, non-accessible. Like super suspect.
For sure.
Beautiful site. Highly recommend going. And I intend and aim to head back myself before the summer is done this year. Hey, look at what we got there. Potential statue and, well, your two favorite nubs.
Matching.
Exactly, matching. Look at this. This is a straight up face and the face on the other side. And I really wanted to be there at the summer solstice. I wasn't able to make it, but hopefully I get there for the fall equinox and I'm able to document both the shadows on these astrological days if they cast more depth and prove the actual features that it is a face, as well as potential astrological alignments with all of lots of the arches, right? And that would be the way to do it. Again, look at all of these caves within them. It appears to be blocks. It's very, very suspect. And like, that's the size of a person. They're huge. Oh, now we're back to Red Rock Coulee that has these giant red spheroids and what appear to be mound-like structures. More very suspect Badlands in southern Alberta. And how did all of these things stay on top? Why aren't they buried like everything else with the supposed...
Well, those right there, Those are concretions right there. Zoom in on those. Those are concretions.
That's what they call them. I suspect it's something else.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what they call them, but what it means to me is it's a byproduct of some process. Those are like welding spirals.
Could be. Good call.
That's up in Canada. Where is that at?
This is Red Rock Coulee, just southwest of Medicine Hat, Alberta, on the Highway 3 Crow's Nest Pass. And here we now have the terraces to the northeast of Medicine Hat, Alberta. This being, bear with me, I'll pull up the other reference. Oops. So this site with the geoglyphs, the Badland Guardians of Medicine Hat, Alberta, and sorry, oops, wrong way. This guy, here we go, finally got it. So this guy here with they call the feathered serpent or feathered headdress or dragon headdress, helmet, his eyes, his nose, his mouth, his chin. One of the 12 different Badland Guardians that make up this whole valley, where you got this guy, this guy, this guy. That's the one we're just looking at. This guy here, potentially another one, that guy, that guy, that guy. There's another one here, and then there's a couple more up outside of this picture. But it was this access road we drove in on, and it's this Faison Hill. I'll show some pictures of, but it's this guy here I'm walking all over throughout this area, which I am showing from that road.
I mean, it could have been a change, like that thing coming out of his forehead. It could have been weathering that happened and changed it. So you have different things. And by the way, what you're showing right there, those terraces, you should look at Zero Control's work. He's got terraces like that all over the world. And you see terraces like that. It's like, who did that? And nobody this century did it. Nobody this millennia did it. Somebody did it, and they had a reason for doing it.
And this is what's making up the faces and that feather horn out there. So that feather extending out, this is that part going out here. And you can see the consistent terracing all the way from top to bottom. Every meter and a half, you have parallel terraces on every which side of these heads that construct the giant geoglyphs. And yeah, absolutely ancient. I talked to the rancher farmer who owns this land. He was like, "What are you talking about? My family's owned this for generations. We never did that. That's natural." And it's like, no, no, it's not. Why is it massive faces and parallel terraces constructing from top to bottom? So there's that access road I was showing that we drove up on.
You go up to Sutter's Butte and you see the same thing. And then there's also the walls with stones the size of cars. Oh, the Chinese put that there 100 years ago. No, they didn't. They're not going to move a stone that's the size of a car to make a wall for cows. Somebody else did that.
How? Exactly. How? How did they do that? Why would they do that? Makes no sense. So there we go. That concludes that little tour. I guess we'll show some more of the faces. So that's what we were looking at. That was that road. And so these guys, oops, my apologies.
Wait, look at those stones. Look at those broken up stones. What are those all about?
I'll go back to that. That's a different site. So you got the long-nosed, big-headed birdman on this side here. Nose, mouth, chin. And then you've got this eye, nose, mouth potential figure mask, and then you have the second half with the big brow and eye and nose and mouth, like the Moai figure. So you got 1 and 2 and 3 on that one. It's like they're totem poles, essentially, right? Like masks on masks, faces on faces. So here's the main Badland Guardian warrior with the oil rig and the access road to the oil rig right in his ear. Here you see it again. And then there's the Olmec looking dude, another potential dude there. This site is called Mystery Rock, Saskatchewan. And shout out to Michael Collins, Wandering Wolf. I believe this image is from a drone shot that he took himself. And when we get to this part with the holes in it, the parallel, like it, very, very suspect to say the least.
I recall he went there. Yeah, I watched him do that live actually, and he was getting some shots up close.
There's the Olmec dude.
Like a quarry, yeah. Hey, that's a quarry. That's a quarry.
I suspect so, for sure. Viking head squid hat, right? People will name it whatever they want, but it's everyone recognizes the faces and what we're looking at. And then there's also this Viking dude on top as well, face or king on top of this guy. Faces upon faces. What are the odds? So here you can see the Viking guy, the other guy, potential other face, this face, this face, this face, that little guy, and also this face right here, clearly, eyebrow, eye, nose, mouth, and potentially those guys, but eroded. I don't know.
That's all orientated north-south, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are indeed. And then there's these lines that Arthur Ferrum found, the geoglyphs that actually mark and map out to other ancient sites around the world and prove without a shadow of a doubt that these are in fact geoglyphs, just like the Nazca lines. And in fact, some of these geoglyphs actually map out to the Nazca lines. And that's how Arthur Ferrum originally found this site through Google Earth after getting the coordinates from the Nazca lines. So I think the evidence is pretty overwhelming at this point. And it doesn't matter the time of year, the angle, you constantly see them. All right, so they're saying that guy with that guy. Boom, boom. This guy, obviously. And just more than suspect. How is it possible? Here's faces that are more eroded up there. It needs to get back there as well this year. So anyone wants to donate and support the work, or if you want to meet up in person and be part of the exploration, feel free to reach out and contact. Back to ISIS.
Looking and trying to get to the Rashat structure again in November. Got unfinished business in the Rashat. There's more to the story. I can't tell you everything, but it's big stuff, big important stuff. Where's that? What's that?
I believe this is at the border of France and maybe Switzerland or Germany or something, like France and some other European country or something. I'm 99% sure. Another pyramid.
Yeah, obviously.
Europe. Pyramid Lake, Nevada again. Here we can see the steps, the terraces more on it. And of course, Shiva Temple, Isis Temple, Cheops Pyramid, Temple of Ra, Temple of Horus. They're like, why do they have these occult names and represent? They're looking pretty structural.
What's that
And
one? Where's that
this,
at?
I believe, is somewhere in Central America. I maybe Honduras or El Salvador, I suspect, but could also potentially been Mexico. Here we have one of the Bosnian pyramids again. Another an old picture of the main Bosnian pyramid of the sun. And
That's
then
right there.
that's Egypt, right? And look
Yeah,
at the
I know
rock
those.
compared to some of the other things we're looking at. And then
Well, and by
Turkey,
the way,
right?
look at the mountain behind that.
That's a
That
pyramid.
is literally a stone quarry. They just built that mountain from by by how do you say it's like where you go by and you see a created mound of rocks in a quarry, but they did this way above everything else. It's like they literally had the conveyor belt and they had those stones going up and they dropped it into what I think was pay dirt, and then later on they made the statues next to it. Yonaguni.
Yeah, that was Yanaguni, correct. Another one from somewhere in,
That's the same one right there. I think that's Honduras. I think
yeah,
that's
I
a
think
place in Honduras. I was looking at like in the 80s. I was going to go there, and then for some reason never made it.
more of the Grand Canyon, Pyramids, Temple Valley, back to Egypt, Guanpandang, Indonesia.
Whew, got a little hot in
Turkey,
here.
Isis Temple. That could be a painting though. Chichen Itza.
Been there.
Another Mexican one, I believe. Oh, old school. He looked a lot different back in the day.
Well, when you look at that, you can really see the way that that whole head was created. You can see the parts of the Sphinx where it's sticking out, that where the ancient concrete fell off, and that
Yeah,
right there, especially on the back side, that's like look how dark the head is. So all
yeah,
that dark, that's ancient concrete. And then look at the neck and look at the shoulders, how light it is.
absolutely. Right? Just so many inconsistencies with the official narrative. This is Chichen Itza from above. Fascinating. Symmetry. Oh, we got another Chinese pyramid. Another one. This is better. I can't read that. Not sure. Jingang Pyramid 6.
Yeah, you can't even go there. I've been there twice. That's Cambodia. That's Angkor Wat.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's more than 1,200 years old. Come on, man.
agreed. Fully agree. Chichen Itza to the
What is
cenote.
that?
That's a cenote, right? The water things that go throughout Mexico, the underwater aquifers or underground aquifers, sorry. And
Oh, you mean Kanat? Kanat. I didn't know they had them. Kanats. I
this
thought they were
one,
called Kanat.
actually, sorry, this is the one that's on the Swiss-French border in the Alps. The other one was some other European country border. Like, look at this old crazy building, but how is that natural? It is not. Oh, back to Devon Island. I think we've been through this. Faroe Islands. All right, we've been through that one. Whoa, do we have anything else to share? What's going on, Mr. Stig? You got
And
any?
I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff's been going on. I have a refrigerator issues. I ordered a refrigerator from Walmart. It showed up. It was beat to hell. I put it back in the box right away. I had to drive it to Walmart and drop it off and get my money back. That was my life yesterday. And so I got home and I sent out a bad email to somebody and made enemies and friends, and I'm trying to recover. So I can just be honest with you. This is it's nice and relaxing going through this material, and we got to find stuff from like Zero Control. Look at one of his videos and look at the stuff he shows. Also up in Canada, up where the ice sheets were, those moraines, if you call them moraines. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I do. I took geology, submarines.
Yeah, but those moraines is supposed to be transport roads. I mean, come on, they're going across many miles, those moraines going. And yeah, they look like they were twisted by the melting ice sheets. So yeah, they're older than the ice sheets. And then of course the rest, I mean, what he always looks at recently is over there in the Sinai Peninsula and Saudi Arabia and out in the middle of the nowhere, and you're looking at all this crazy stuff in the desert. I mean, there's everywhere you look, there's something going on. And that's the amazing part about it. I mean, just take a look. Look at Google Earth one time and look a little closer. And then when you see something that looks like a little bit unnatural, you know, look a little closer. Look at those pyramids right there. And they're like, oh, I mean, that's supposed to be China, right?
Yeah. Indonesia, China. We got
Look
the
at that.
UK.
What is that?
This is
Where's that? I don't even know what that is.
This is in the UK, I believe.
That is too incredible. Zoom in on that thing. I don't even know what that is. Is that on the other side of the mountain, or is that on the top of the mountain?
That's on the top. That's the top of the mound.
It's pretty sus. I wouldn't say that's natural at this point.
Oh, it's recognized. That's actually acknowledged as a mound in the United Kingdom.
I don't know that one. That's interesting.
Salisbury Hill or something, maybe. I could be mistaken, but
it's kind of a weird shot. I don't know about that one. I recognize the name, but
also suspect. Again in Grand Canyon, Isis Temple, a Chinese pyramid, the Egyptian pyramid.
I mean, when you look at it and you say, "Oh, that looks natural," you look at it again and compare it to the stuff that's so unnatural down in South Africa, and you look and say, "Wow, if that's smoking gun, look at that. That's not natural, right there. That was created.
Right. That's Cappadocia.
Yeah, looks like it. I think so. I could be wrong.
It's somewhere in Turkey in the area.
And Dusty, you say burial mound, but when the mound is as big as a freaking, you don't build a burial mound that big, you know.
I think you might have been joking too, but that's the official narrative that they claim. This one off the east side of Russia, I believe. Again, the French one on the Swiss border. Here we have by Mexico City, Teotihuacan.
The Pyramid of the Sun and Moon.
And this guy is also at Pyramid Lake, Nevada. Very suspect.
I call that the Buddha. I mean, come on. You don't get a hollow. That's created. Right? Those ice cream scoops. You don't get a big old hollow thing coming out of it.
Exactly. It's gotta be.
That's created.
Look at the face. Like there's no way. Indonesia. Oh, so here we go. Here's an overhead view of that same.
There it is. No, I haven't seen that before. Don't say that's Salisbury. It couldn't.
Yeah, I could be probably wrong on that.
That's interesting, man. I can't believe that.
This I believe is in Brazil. I think they found these ones. Maybe Mongolia or the Tibetan.
So natural.
Right, Beehive Pyramid, Devil's Slide, Short Line, Colorado.
What? Wait a minute. Back up. Devil's Slide. What? Say that again. Devil's Slide. Okay, now CC Shortline, Colorado. That's the third Devil's Slide. I couldn't find it. Wow. And where's the slide? I don't see no slide.
Right.
Is that
Maybe
a
on the
train up
back
there?
side.
What
Oh,
is
it
that?
looks like probably on the back side here. It's quite out of frame, maybe.
Interesting. Well, it certainly is not as impressive as the Devil's Slide in Utah or the one in up in Montana either.
Look at these. 1, 2, 3 in Antarctica. Very suspect.
Well, I mean, I have to be honest, I've never been that impressed by those.
Well, look like the same Orion's belt alignment.
That's an interesting point.
California.
That's near me right there. That right there, that's
Yeah, you need to
that
go
is
to this
here.
petroglyph.
That's in California, right?
Yes, sir.
That's very close to me.
And then this is what they found excavated these waterways in the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun that they found the
Found a couple of those in Napa as well, up in the hills in Napa. They weren't about water though, but they were going under the mountain, and we didn't know where they were going. I wasn't about to climb in there. We got a little bit of video of that back in the day when I went to Napa before.
Maybe it's that channel that we saw earlier on Devon Island. I'm not sure. Devon Island is an absolute mystery, and why are there pyramids on it? What the heck's going on?
Anytime you have hills, you have something going on at the top. People are doing shit up in the hills. And I think it's old. That's a mound, you know?
Them hills have tunnels.
That right there, I don't think I've ever seen before.
This is in America.
Huh. Interesting. It's amazing the stuff you've never seen before. That's incredible.
India.
Yeah, there's a truncated mound right there.
Faroe Islands, China, somewhere in the U.S., India. Very suspect. Very suspect. Elongated heads by the looks of it.
What's going on there?
And what the heck are these guys riding on?
Little vehicles. Where was that?
It's either in South America or Africa, maybe even Asia. I forget specifically. My apologies. My apologies. I will look into it for the next one, because then there's also these ones, I think, were from the same site. So maybe it was Africa. I don't know.
She's a hottie. I'd date her.
I bet you would.
I didn't say anything about wood.
Here, what's going on with that?
That was carved later. They put that in on top of other shit, right? You've got those little tiny airplanes in the right-hand side, don't you? Isn't that those little airplanes?
Oh, yeah. I see. Yeah, right there.
Maybe, maybe not.
Potentially.
And also you can see a cartouche.
Sorry, moved on. My apologies. More Chinese.
That's all right.
Pyramids.
And there's just so much, you know. It just goes on and on and on.
It's from the Michigan tablets, I believe.
Michigan?
Yep, from the 1900s. Here we have some of the Crespi collection gold tablets compared to the Harpin and Brahmi languages script. All right, there we go. Now we're going. So like this one is in Burma?
Thailand.
Thailand.
Burma, Thailand. And it's got 108 pillars on it. Very special.
Absolutely. Indonesia, another mountain pyramid covered in ancient terraces. Bosnian pyramid.
As seen around the world. South Africa.
What? That's sus. Like, what are these little plasma dome thingies? But what are these guys?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That's suspect. Oh, hold on. What is? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe natural. Not natural. Somewhere in Peru, Bolivia.
Obviously. Terracing like that everywhere. Egypt.
Like, look at this wind twister right on top. How does that happen? How does that happen?
Energy.
Exactly.
Discharge.
Another Chinese pyramid. Oh, look at them now. Looks different then too.
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh, it was buried. That's why it's a different color, because it was buried. No, you look at it right there. It wasn't buried. The head sticks way above. The shoulders is still out of the sand. It wasn't buried.
That is rather suspect.
I mean, it was buried to a certain extent, but it wasn't buried up to the neck. Yeah, that's a little bit of right there. Nice hat.
Right, and then in Burma and Thailand and adjacent countries to this day, just wild pyramidal structures. And this, I think, is Vietnam or China. Look at these ancient terraced mountains everywhere.
And they're still in use, it looks like.
Yeah, they still at least use them in Asia. They're all over the world, just most places humanity has abandoned and not reclaimed yet.
That's the way it is all over Lesotho in the mountains.
You're more Cappadocia, and like
that's crazy.
That's a mountain apartment complex.
Yeah, and the whole rock itself looks unnatural. Like first they put that big rock there, and then they started to turn it into homes.
Right? Like,
that's not how mountains are. You don't have a big old thing like that.
Yeah, exactly. Supposedly Antarctica, Teotihuacan, Mexico City. Nevada. Supposedly the radar looks like under Bosnian Pyramid. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm sorry to say this. I'm starting to crash, bro.
No worries. We're an hour and a half in. We can call her night. It is midnight.
I'm doing a book, The Mountain Builders. I'm going to do every single page is going to be a different location around the world. And I'm going to put some of this stuff in there. That's got to be Peru right there. What is that? Does that even still exist?
Right? I have no idea. Somewhere in Asia. Wild. And so this is Pyramid Lake, Nevada. Just the water's gone down. And it's like, is that like a second eroded one? Can see more layers. Very suspect.
And it looks like that's totally like a big old created mound right there. It just doesn't belong, right? It has no business being there.
Exactly. None of these places. And then, in Petra, Jordan, is there similar things hiding in the Grand Canyon and around the world? I suspect so.
That's mining right there.
Like, look at this. Just Those are fractal ray antennas. There's just no other way about it. And water erosion doesn't give you square structured temple mountains with clear step pyramids on rectangular freaking outfaces.
Well, I think those shapes are from mining. I think that carved down below those curves. Yeah, well, that right there, that little auditorium, or what do you call it? Amphitheater. That is, I mean, carved out. That's mining.
Right. Well, that would be how they would make it, right? So it's dual purpose, probably. If you were smart about it, why wouldn't you first mine for the resources and then build yourself a macro city if that's what you're doing? Well, here we have a Syrian six-wheeled thing and our modern. Interesting. Off the coast of Cuba, 2 kilometers down, supposedly. Mesoamerica. Look at those perfect angles in the Grand Canyon. And this is also Devon Island.
Far away from what I found in the Grand Canyon too, where there was lots of polygonal lines carved in, a little mound. It's like, what's going on here?
So here's part of the entrance, and you can see, look at that giant arch and the entryway in to Isis temple before it got covered. And look at those perfect block terraces. It's very, very suspect, and they've since covered that up when they went in to recover an airplane crash in the 50s. Makes no sense.
Yeah, just like, all that stuff is just cover-up story.
Mount Kailash, Nan Padong, all of these, what's it? Whatever the island is. All right, we're getting off topic. I'm getting tired.
I'm going to be like, after we're done here, I'm going to climb into bed and close my eyes and fall asleep. That's where I'm at. I am ready to crash. I got up at 4 a.m. I've been getting up early. Dusty's been hanging in there. Thanks for all those comments.
Appreciate everyone. Thank you all, and we will catch you on the next one. Much love, Steve.
I'm off to bed, bro. I'm crashing. Have a nice one.
Much love.
Big Saturday tomorrow. I'm out.
All right.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just BurnEye.